What a day it has been. What a day. So it is Vlogmas. Yay! It is day 6 of Vlogmas. And I am running on E. I'm so tired. I still have church tomorrow. And then a women's event on Tuesday, which I'm a table leader of. And that's at night. So Monday is going to be a couch potato day and just sit, knit, and relax. Because, again, I didn't get much knitting or crochet time today. We left at 7:50 this morning, and we got home around 12:30. And I walked a total of 8,643 steps today. And that was all within the 8:30 to 11:30 time frame. So, I'm so tired. I was sitting in the chair earlier and I was trying to crochet on Owen, which, by the way, I'm changing his name. He's no longer going to be Owen. He has on like this flowery motif sweater and like this kind of like cardi. And he's a stout. And I keep thinking Owen Otter because I'm someone that I feel like the name should match because they both begin with O's. Owen Otter. And he's a stout. So I'm naming him Sylvia the Stout. And just going to roll with that the rest of this Vlogmas. So if I refer to Sylvia, I'm talking about the stout. Okay? There we go. And then tomorrow is Vlogmas, obviously. And it is day 2. So we will be opening this bag at some point tomorrow. I'm unsure. But I wanted to talk a little bit about more of the drama with the stout. Because apparently a lot of people are mad about this advent. Like, there is anger. It is not just disgruntled consumers. It is anger. And apparently some of the very emotionally charged crafters who have a right to be emotionally charged about this have reached out to not only Hobbii, but the designer. And enough that Hobbii had to put a post on the Facebook group. So first of all, people are very upset that, and again, it's valid, the pattern was targeted to anyone of any crochet level can work on this pattern. That it would be very detailed, explained. Hobbii even put in the listing from very, very new beginner to crochet to an advanced crocheter can easily do this stout pattern. And I mean, I'm not the most amazing crocheter, but I'm pretty good. I know how to carry yarn and do invisible decreases and stuff, but a lot of that was not conveyed in the pattern. Like, it just tells you to continue using both yarns, and you're supposed to carry your yarns, but I think a lot of people have been cutting their yarns. I think a lot of people also have been doing an X stitch. Now, I don't know about an X stitch. I know it's some kind of single crochet, and it's supposed to give your tighter stitch. Like, if you're a very loosey-goosey crocheter, then it's supposed to be like the stitch, that you should use to help tighten it up so you don't have stuffing showing, whatever. I have no idea about an X stitch. I've never done it, never researched it. I don't know. But people who've been using this X stitch that have used it always for amigurumi are running out of yarn. And it's just not a handful of people. It's like a plethora of people have run out of yarn. And they've been very vocal about their yarn shortage. Because, and Brenda, I think, pointed this out. Was it you, Brenda? Yeah, Brenda, it was you. Okay, I had to verify. I thought it was. Even pointed out to me that it even says, because she looked at the pattern, that you're supposed to save your leftovers for the rest of the kit. So all these people who are run out of the first brownish color on the first animal are not happy about the 80-something dollars they paid for kit that they can't even complete on Advent 1. So that's a thing that is happening. As far as the post, Hobbii Makealongs made a post. And where did it go? Okay. It's a lengthy one. Lovely Makealong crafters, we are really sad to have to share this reminder today, but we have unfortunately experienced that some of our amazing Advent calendar designers have received threats and been harassed on social media by some of our passionate customers due to the following. Now, first of all, I do not promote or want anybody to reach out to anyone and dog them. If anybody, it should be Hobbii that should be the responsible party in this, because they're the one that's selling the kit and they're the one that manufactured the kit and the yarns for it. They should have properly tested it to make sure that there was ample yarn per kit per consumer, and that the instructions were indeed for beginners if that is what they sold it as. However, number 1, some crafters finding a pattern marked as intermediate pattern to be too difficult for their skill level. It doesn't really tell you that you should carry the yarn or use like a mosaic kind of, or not mosaic, it might be something else in crochet, carrying my one color and catching it. But yeah. Also, there's just some other little things like reading a chart and not a lot of direction on how to read a chart, because part of the pattern has a chart in it. So you're supposed to, it has like a chart with just 12 stitches, and there's a lot of information that is implied for the crocheter to apply to the project without really information on it, which is not something that a beginner is going to know to do. Number 2, a mistake in the first Advent crochet pattern, which was not designer's mistake but ours. Okay, I don't even know what that is. I'm hoping that they fixed that because I haven't found it yet. We take full responsibility for this mistake and greatly apologize for the inconvenience at its cost to you. Okay, well, that makes sense. The mistake was investigated and fixed as soon as we learned about it, so please download the pattern again if you haven't already. I guess I should go download that. We are sad to see that our sweet and hardworking designers had to experience this, and I agree. No one should be going after designers. So to ensure a better experience for them and going forward, please read these Make-Along guide. Before joining a Make-Along, please make sure you have the skill level needed when joining a Make-Along, or that you are willing to put in a little work to skill up. If a Make-Along or Advent calendar is designed for intermediate crafters, it will not include guides that will teach you the basic skills required. You will need to acquire those skills yourself. Again, they put beginners can do this, and that is why people are mad. And again, I think that's very valid. Number 2, make sure you research the designer to see if you like their designs. If you make the Make-Along is a mystery Make-Along, the designers will probably design something that looks similar to their earlier designs. So if you love their designs, chances are you may love what they're making for the Make-Along too. Now, one thing I have to say about this one is I know her designs. Her designs are very detailed. And looking at this, compared to some of her other designs, it looks like a copycat made this. Like, it doesn't look like her original work. I feel like if I hadn't known it was her design, I wouldn't have picked it out as her design. I would have picked it out as a copycat design. Like, it's almost like she kind of held back to stay in the 4 colors to fit in the Advent for this thing, instead of really doing what she normally would do, if that makes sense. If you ever encounter a problem with a pattern from one of our designers, please reach out to our lovely customer service team and not the designers directly. We have an entire team at Hobbii dedicated to helping crafters with patterns, and most of the time we're able to handle issues like this quite fast. But please be patient with us. And a lot of people are kind of salty about that, because the reality is if you email them, sometimes it can take about 3 or 4 days. Well, if this is a Advent that comes out every Sunday, and you have a question and you have to wait 4 days, then you only have 3 days to try to knock out your bag before the next bag. So I can get the frustration there as well. Lastly, we want to make it clear that we do not tolerate harassment or threats towards our designers. Yeah, neither do I. I think that was very uncalled for. So people make sure, not people. So please make sure you always talk and treat people the way you want to be treated. That is a true golden rule that goes way beyond just this make-along. This rule also applies when you're communicating on social media. It hurts just as much if you receive harsh comments or threats online as it does if you get them face to face. I thought that was common knowledge. But I don't think people hold back anymore. I think online has just become this, hey, I'm not in front of you, so I can say what I want, which is not right. And there should be a accountability and responsibility to whoever says anything, that you should always treat people with kindness. Even though you're upset about an advent, you should still be kind. Because in all reality, it's just an advent. It's not the end of the world. Thank you all for understanding. We truly love arranging these fun make-alongs for you and hope that you'll take part as much as we do. P.S. A little insider tip for those who's already finished the patterns for the week. We have already revealed the second advent patterns, and you should see if any mistakes or issues with the patterns, please reach out to us, the customer service team. I have not looked yet, but I'm pretty sure it's already a pattern that's for free on the website. And we already know how I feel about that. So today we did go to the Unite Service Act, and that was about, I think 30 of us maybe went, or maybe less than that, 20 to 30 of us loaded up on two buses, and we went to this really big cemetery that's not far from our church, and they pay us to go out and put these plastic luminaries onto the graves whose family have paid or donated to have them put out there. And then they have this service where they light them all up, or that they're lit, and then there's music, and people just kind of go out and spend the evening with their loved ones. And it's just a beautiful thing. But it's a great fundraiser for our church, because that does provide many of our kids with tuition to go to our winter and our summer camp that we have every year. And our summer camp, we take about 100-something 6th through 12th graders to Florida for a week with lots of chaperones, and we rent out this whole church camp that's right on the beach. It's a great time. There's a lot of salvations, and it's very moving for the students because they have their cell phones, but they're somewhat cut off from being online, because the cell phone reception is not good. And we keep them very, very busy. And winter camp is a very laid back, almost like cabin-esque kind of get together, and it's only for 3 or 4 days. But it gives them a break in the winter where they can go and renew and disconnect and just be in nature and talk to counselors if they need to, and just be kids, you know? And we play games, stupid fun games. We have worship music. We have like devotion time and Bible study time and team group challenges, go on nature walks. It's just a lot of fun to be able to serve my church by working with our youth. And today was a lot of fun working and serving with the church and setting up these these luminaries. So it was very cold, and so my throat is just kind of like not having it. But we broke up in different groups. It's a huge cemetery. We got it all done, and I had 4 people that don't even go to our church are at our local school. They go to another school, but they came and helped serve as part of earning points for one of their classes. And so I got to work with them, and that was a lot of fun. Meeting them, there were 4 girls, 4 high school girls, who were very standoffish at first and were just like looking at me like I was crazy, but then kind of warmed up, and it was just a great day, you know. And my husband goes, all 4 of us go, and my husband usually has his team and I have my team, and it's just a great way to serve as a family, because we're not only serving our church and our students and helping them get to camp, but we're serving families that we don't even know who have lost loved ones and helping them through a season that can be very, very difficult. But it was a really good day. It was very overcast though, but it was cold, but it wasn't the coldest it's ever been, and it wasn't raining. We've been sometimes when it's been raining, and we've been sometimes where it was like not even 25 degrees. So in all, it was a great day. I'm just very, very tired. And I'm so tired that it's 5:30 and I'm about to go in and get in the shower and I'm going to bed. I don't know. I want to work on Sylvia while I'm in bed, and I like to get pretty far on her, and see if I'm going to run out of yarn. Because I am the fruitcake that I am, I've already figured out a game plan if I don't have enough yarn for her. And in a way, I kind of hope that I don't, so I can initiate this game plan. But if I do, I may still initiate part of the game plan. We'll just have to see. Because I had a dream about Sylvia, and that's how I fixed her in my dream. And it's just one of those quirky things that I do. I work out things in my dreams and I write them down the next morning. And my husband thinks I'm a fruitcake about it, but it works. And that's just how I process. Speaking of, if you haven't watched yesterday's Vlogmas, and watch it all the way to the end, because I was doing some B-roll with lighting the candle in our foyer, because we light candles in our foyer every day, and that thing, I just love how they smell. And my husband thought he was going to be funny, and because he could already see that I was getting a little irritated because I was tired, and just keep jumping in front of the camera. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave this in here. He's like, no, you won't. Oh yeah, buddy, you're in there.